Normally when I give any kind of talk, I usually just think about what I'm saying, I write a few notes, and I talk extemporaneously, which is what I'm going to probably do. But I tried my iPad. No problem. So I limited myself to 2 glasses of wine, so I probably will remember what I want to say. No martinis, then. That's right. Once I have a martini, I don't remember anything. So I'd really like to welcome all friends and family, Anna and Jose, Jackie, Ben, and our new family here. It's very wonderful to have it, and thank you so much for this venue. The whole resort is fabulous, and Luca Restaurant, when we kind of looked around and thought we were doing this, is just incomparable for something like this. And David, who's not in the room, who's been helping us, has just been amazing as well. So now I'm not going to roast you, Ben, but I'm going to talk a little bit.
Whoa!
That's the nice stuff, okay? Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about Ben and Jackie. We've known Jackie and Ben really since sophomore year in college, and we've gotten to know you. I know Ben obviously a lot better, but I've gotten to know both of you quite well, sometimes maybe even too well. And it's thinking about your relationship and how it's evolved. I see I could talk about a lot of different things, 2 key types of events. And the first I relate to adrenaline. Okay, now those of you, I'm a physician, and those of us who are physicians know when you have stress or trauma, the adrenal gland goes berserk. And you get the fight or flight reflex, your heart races, it just like, and you have a massive amount of epinephrine in your bloodstream. And that has an immediate effect. You either live or die, but it also has longer-term effects. And one of the effects is memory. And if you think about traumatic events in your life, your mother threw you down the stairs when you were 3 years old, you'll remember these things vividly. And also think of other events in your life. But the second effect, which is a little more subtle and interesting, is a bonding effect. And you can think of an army effect. When you're in a crew together in an army, and you go through crises, you bond. Now, I hate to admit it, Gene.
Uh-oh.
He and I have watched a lot more of The Bachelor show than we would like to admit. And this season of The Bachelor, what I noticed was that when they set the dates up for The Bachelor, right? They take them out in a helicopter and have them jump 40 feet into the water. Or they have the girl, rappel down to like a cliff with the guy holding on. And what I realize that does is it creates an amazing bonding, which is maybe even a little bit fake for these people, but they're I'm in love, because they survived this bonding experience. So I'm not saying that Ben quite did that, but Ben is a sly guy. Ben plans things out a little bit. He's an engineer. And the first thing I was thinking of, and Jose will relate to this, is very early in their relationship, Ben was driving, Jackie was meeting Jose's car. Now, what does he do? They're in a whole movie theater, and he drives right into one of those light posts in the middle of the movie theater.
I'm sorry, it was an empty parking lot. Empty.
Again, I'm not speculating what was in Ben's mind.
My story was I'm distracted by the beauty and I'm sticking to it.
I'm not speculating what was in Ben's mind. However, I'm sure Jackie had a small adrenaline rush, and I'm sure she was bonded. Now, here's the genius of this. Jose also had an adrenaline rush.
Well, I was sitting in a restaurant and I get this thought. Dad, I just crashed a car, a light pole in an empty parking lot.
So it's a double win. He bonded with Jackie early on, and he got Jose. This is an engineer. Ben thinks out very carefully. Why waste 2 events we can have a single event? And then there was a second event associated with adrenaline. So Ben and Jackie are in. Ben's in black tie, she's in like evening wear. They're in Durham, North Carolina. Suddenly, a police car blocks off their entrance. The cop cars are stopping. Ben jumps out of the car. Police jump out of the car. Ben's outside the car, and the police are in a crash position with a gun pointing at Ben.
This is true.
Ben's in black tie. Right? Now, what is Jackie's in the car going, thinking, what is going on? I mean, your heart must have been racing, Jackie.
Jackie was furious. I was scared.
I was thinking of all the various rights that were being violated.
So, another bonding event. I mean, after that, the adrenaline flowing, how could Jackie not be hooked? You know, and those two be hooked as a couple. All right, so we dealt with the bonding. Then we have the next step of Ben's plan. This is the testing.
Wow.
Okay, so Ben is a, you know, and Eric Martinson, who's here, will testify. Ben is a fanatical athlete. You know, he tries to do everything he can do. He challenges himself all the time. So Jackie had to fall into the testing of something else. If you remember the movie Diner, right? So one of the characters of Diner was engaged to this woman. This guy was a fanatic sports guy. This woman had to take an oral test of over 100 questions. It was sports questions. And she had to get a score, I think, of 90% or better for him to marry her. She was studying for months and everything. Well, you know, he didn't do that to Jackie. But what it did make Jackie do is say, if I'm going to do these sports, Jackie, you have to at least try to do these sports. So first came wakeboarding.
She's retired.
Now, I must say, Jackie really put on a great show. She tried as hard as she could, and
She got her own wakeboard.
She got her own wakeboard, and she succeeded. She succeeded. Then she retired.
I just didn't like it.
But she succeeded. Then Ben's a skier, and you know, he said, Jackie, you don't have to ski, but you got to go. I have to be up in the mountains in the winter. So she had to snowboard. And she tried and tried and tried, and she really succeeded. And now she's addicted to snowboarding. And that's something they can do together. Then they share their exercise together, and they work out together, run marathons together, and that's a bonding experience. But the final sports thing, Jose, you know what she had to agree to. She has to root for the Jets.
It's true. It's true.
Now we have Debo. And then we have Serrano. So, we're okay. I mean, this room, some of these people here promise that we will try.
Now we have the final phase of Ben's plan. It's really announcing that Jackie can even, you know, kind of make it here, because she had to really integrate with the Kunkel family. Now, the nickname the Kunkels have for the Kunkel family is the Barracudas. And there's a reason for that. Ben laughs. And Jackie grew up, you know, as an only child in a very nice, loving, respectful. And Jose, tell me if I'm wrong, but when Jackie had something to say at the dinner table, you listened very politely and you let her finish.
Nothing wrong with only children.
So Jackie meets our family, right? You have 10 seconds to say what you want to say. It's got to be aggressive, it's got to be quick, and it's got to be interesting.
And loud.
And if you even hesitate, you're done, because somebody else is going to take over the conversation. So it took Jackie a few years to adapt to this. And she would just be there speechless, like they're not listening to me. They've moved on to other topics and other things. But you know, she's now become, at times, not always, because she's still a very polite, nice person. At times, she's become one of the Barracudas.
Yeah, Jackie!
Before she was an only child. Once she joined your family, she became another child.
She had to compete.
You know, so she needs to compete.
So I won't take any more time, although other people want to say a few words.
Almost at 10 minutes.
Barracuda!
Barracuda!
How long can I speak for? He goes, like 2 or 3 minutes ago. No way.
We're at 9:43.
So I just want to welcome Jackie into our family, Jose and Anna. I love having an extended family. Ich bin ein Kubaner. And, very much. It was great.